In the beginning, people were like, what's going on? Some of my professors were like, we don't get it. It starts with me, with the design process, right? And I start my design process with color. Most designers will look.
Who is the woman behind HaleyJ?
Like when I was starting the concept for the brand, it really started out.
From learning how to sew at just 5 years old to building a luxury fashion brand worn by women who refuse to blend in, HaleyJ turned her creativity into a movement.
I started sewing at like 5 or 6. Well, I always loved bright colors. I think that's kind of the core of the brand is bright colors.
In a world full of trends, she chooses to create her own lane. Bold colors, handcrafted luxury, and designs made to command attention.
Where we're at now is she's a woman that is unapologetically herself, and she wants people to know who she is the second she walks in the door.
This is the story of a designer building more than just clothing. She's building a legacy. So just for like someone that's just starting, wants to be a designer, what was the one thing that like scared you the most about it?
That's honestly a really good lesson for anyone that's building a brand.
When did it start to feel real for you? Like when you started making your brand and had your clothing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And action.
Oh yeah, you need one of those movie things.
I know.
That's what we said last time.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
because
you can put like your Hot Shot like logo on it.
yeah, and just go.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. I need to do that. That'll be on the bucket
I
list
think
for
you
what we
should do
need.
that. You should get that for your party.
Oh my God,
You just walk around
Right.
going like this, everybody.
We should. I'll see
It's
where
so
I can
fun.
get one. I think that'd be good.
Like on Amazon, then we just like label it or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, your microphone.
Oops. I should probably get that started. Okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of Hot Shots. Today, we have an amazing guest with us here. We have HaleyJ. Woo!
Thank you guys for having me. So excited to be here.
Yes. So what we do here is we kind of talk to designers and kind of talk about their story, how they started, why they make the clothes that they do. So to start off, can you kind of give a little background about yourself, like how you started, your upbringing, everything like that?
Yeah, so my name is Haley. I grew up outside of Detroit in Michigan. Like I was always opinionated about what I was wearing, dressing myself. I was always the kid in class like sketching dresses in her notebooks. I started sewing at like 5 or 6.
No way.
Creating my own fashion magazines. Like it was always just part of who I was.
Wow.
And so when I went to college, I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design where I got my BFA in fashion design, and it was just like a no-brainer. It's like what I've always done. There wasn't really any other options for me, if that makes sense. It was just, that was it. And then about a year ago, I launched my luxury womenswear label, HaleyJ. We're all about unapologetic color, glamour, quality craftsmanship, and just being unapologetically yourself.
I freaking love
Amazing. So, I mean, you said you started sewing at 6 years old or 5. Like, how did you start that? Did someone teach you, or did you self-taught?
I had it when I first started sewing. I had an instructor for like a year or 2, and then I was self-taught. And then when I got into high school and I decided I wanted to pursue this as a career, I started taking lessons again from somebody who could teach me things that were even more advanced than I was already doing, just to kind of prepare myself. But yeah.
Nice. So what kind of clothes were you making at that time?
Nothing super
I mean, 5 years
interesting.
old. What were you sewing at 5 years old?
Completely honest with you, I had this like fleece watermelon print, and I made this like fuzzy robe, like
That's so
nothing like little kids
cute.
stuff, right? Like not just necessarily designing, like creating what I was designing yet. It was more like following a pattern and
Gotcha.
made little like tank tops and like little shorts or pajamas, like little girl things.
Nice.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So did you feel like back then you had, like when did you start developing the aesthetic that you have today? Like, do you feel like it was more towards when you were in high school, going into college? Like, you have a very distinct aesthetic now, but how did that begin? How did that get started?
Well, I always loved bright colors. I think
Okay.
that's kind of the core of the brand is bright colors. So I was always dressing myself in bright colors, always choosing bright colors to wear, always designing in bright colors. But I think like the signature like HaleyJ aesthetic really developed when I was a senior in college. We had to create like a capstone collection, and you really had to announce to the world who you were. And so I had to really dig deep and think about, who am I as a designer? And so I created a collection that actually a lot of the pieces that you saw in my senior collection in college are actually in the collection now. They've been refined over the years and improved upon, but the silhouettes are basically the same and the vibe is the same. And it was just, when I created it, I was just like, this is who I am. Like, I just knew it. And so since then, it's just been, that's what HaleyJ is.
Wow.
Dang.
How did you get to that style? Like, what were you making first? And then was there anything that you were like, this isn't me? Or like, when did you kind of figure out I need to change this style?
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, my aesthetic is very different than most designers. And so when I was in college, I was often looking what my peers were doing, what my professors were recommending. And I was, for the first couple years of college, trying to kind of fit into the mold of what everyone else was doing, but it wasn't working. And so when I got to my senior year, I kind of just threw all that out the window and just let my creativity run. And that's kind of what ended up happening. And in the beginning, people were like, what's going on?
It's like way out of the ordinary.
Looking at it, like some of my professors were like, we don't get it. Like we were developing the collection over time. And at the end, I had a lot of people come to me and they were like, oh, we get it now. But it was really just putting myself out there and just being like, what I'm doing is not working. And so let's just totally pivot and just try something different.
I feel like a lot of artistry and creatives deal with that though, right? Like when you have a vision in your head and you don't know how to translate it until it's done, like you just have to trust the process, and people around you have to trust the process until it finally becomes what it is. How was that? Like, talk us through like mentally through that process. Like, how did you stay confident in your vision? You know, like, was there anything that you had to deal with, like, from a feedback side? Because was there, like, different curriculum that you had to follow in college that you kind of were like, hey, I have to go against the grain here? Or, like, talk us through how that process went in your head.
Now I'm very confident, and my brand is all about confidence. That was not always the case, especially my senior year when I was creating that collection. There was a lot of tears and a lot of negative feedback. A lot. And I was pressured by a lot of people to change the vibe. You know, we at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, most amazing school ever, but we have like a jury selection where they critique the senior collections and the professors, and I had a mentor that was incredible, but they were all trying to kind of push me in a different direction. And it really, I almost caved so many times. And I did in little moments. Yeah. And then I would step back and I'm like, that's not right. And I'd go back to the original. But it was really just building tough skin. And I remember just having like conversations with my mom again and again, just in tears.
Yeah.
And she's like, you just have to do what you want to do, you know? Yeah. Like, you need to be happy with who you are as a person and as a designer and hold your own. And so I look up to my mom so much, and so that encouragement kind of gave me, like, if she didn't say those things to me, I would not have made the collection that I did. But yeah, that's really...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, real quick, I need to turn off this. I just forgot.
Also, can you go like this to your hair?
This?
I wanted to tell you that before we continue. Okay,
thank you.
You're good.
Fix the hair.
You're good now.
Yeah. Okay,
all
perfect.
Right. I'm glad Isaac did something because I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how to tell you.
That's funny. We
just
both
go like
had
this.
like things in our head. We were like, I couldn't get
like
that out of my head.
Like, you're just like, I'm going to stare at that, and I'm going to stare at that.
Yeah.
That's so
If
funny.
we continue. Okay.
Right?
Okay, cool.
So that first collection that you made, how would you describe that collection today? Like, what style would you say that is, and how would you describe it?
So what's really interesting is I don't really realize this when it's happening, but when I look back on collections, I think there's a lot of vintage inspiration. There's a lot of I see a lot of 70s, a lot of 60s sometimes, a little bit of 80s
that vibe,
silhouettes.
Yeah.
But it never starts out as that. So this collection, when I was in college, very much was reminiscent of kind of like old school glamour and style.
Okay.
And so when I think back on that, that's like the first thing I think of. And then of course it was in like the striking HaleyJ colors, pink, orange. It also actually had blue in it, which you don't see in HaleyJ yet, but it's coming.
That's so exciting.
So it's really just this beautiful like color story. It's all about color theory and how colors tell a story and mark your emotions, and they make you feel something when they're in different combinations.
Talk about that more. I would love to hear, like, from, like, how does the color pink and orange, like, portray certain emotions out of individuals, you know? Like, because I think that's so specific and such an intelligent way to describe, like, a collection, because it brings out a personality in someone.
Right.
So how would you describe, I mean, you have a background, you have a whole degree in fashion and color psychology. So how would you, one, as like a person in fashion, describe it, and two, as a person that isn't in fashion, describe it, so you could break it down for both of those audiences?
Right. I'll start with not in fashion first.
'Kay.
I think when you're walking down the street and you're wearing a color that's very striking, people are going to do a double take. And so there's a reason that certain colors have more of a reaction from people. They're telling a different story. And while that person might not consciously be thinking that, like, oh, this wonderful hot pink blazer I'm wearing is telling a story, that's what's happening, right? Like, people are making first impressions of you based on what you're wearing. Different colors make you feel more confident when you're walking down the street. So I think from people that aren't in fashion, that's kind of the gist. When you are in fashion, kind of the more like technical side of it is pink is a very strong color. So is orange. You see a lot of pink on the market. In the luxury industry, you see it in fast fashion. There's a lot of pink. You don't see a lot of orange. It's difficult to find an orange piece. If you want a bright orange dress for an event, you're going to have a harder time finding it. And so it's kind of this expected color with an unexpected color paired together in a combination that you're not normally seeing all the time. You're not seeing someone wear hot pink and bright orange down the street on a regular basis.
You're wearing HaleyJ, that's about it.
Totally. And so it's just this idea, like, my brand is all about joy. And I want the wearer to feel joy. I want the people around them to feel joyful, even if it isn't their style or it's not what they would choose to wear.
Right.
I want them to look at that person and just be like, they are so themselves, and they are just have this deep expression of joy, and you can tell by what they're wearing and how they're carrying themselves.
When it comes to like shows, have you been through a lot of like fashion shows, or where do you kind of go to show off the new collections that you make or any new clothes? Where do you kind of showcase all that stuff?
So HaleyJ is mostly an e-commerce brand. So we do a lot of our storytelling online through visual imagery, but we're also very focused on creating in-person experiences for our customers.
Gotcha.
My background in the industry, I worked for luxury fashion houses for many years, is in something called tech design and pattern making, and that's all about fit and craftsmanship. So my brand really is meant to be experienced in person. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see the quality of the fit, the quality of the craftsmanship. And so we do try to create these touch points for our customers. What I like to do, I do love a fashion show, but at the same time, what brings me the most joy as a founder is letting the person see it, feel it, try it on. And so it's really just creating pop-up shops, creating brand activations that I find very meaningful, even more than a show. But we have done some shows in the past, and we do plan on doing some in the future, but that's...
And something I love so much about you, because you're so similar to me, people are going to say for obvious reasons because of the colors, but that's not, like, it has to do with the detail. Like, I went to one of your activations, and it was just the level of detail that you bring to your brand is so meticulous, and it's something that I very much do as well. When it's like she had orange and pink flower arrangements, like, it was so detailed. Like, the cocktails, the table placements, the hangers aesthetically, like, it's just when you see the level of detail you put into your brand, it's just so respectable and just so great and honorable, because it really does show, like, you are creative to the core. You know what I mean? Not just like, you know, I think I'm gonna throw a brand together and I'm gonna label it this. Like you are, and that just is a testament to you saying, I started at 5. Like this is me. This is me coded. This is something I've wanted to do my entire life. But your level of detail, it shows through your activations, and it also shows through your clothing and the quality of your clothing as well. How does that production process look on the clothing side, right? Like we'd love to hear about somebody that's just getting started. You know, I'm sure it's evolved over the years and how you've produced your clothing. Do you have, you know, someone that does produce? I know you sew yourself. Talk to us a little bit about that process.
So it starts with me with the design process, right? And I start my design process with color. Most designers will look at shapes and silhouettes. I look at colors and color combinations that I love, create kind of a visual storyboard telling a story within the colors, and then think about what silhouettes are those, what's coming up in my brain. And then I start the sketching process.
Okay.
And so once you have the sketching process and you come up with the creative idea, you have to create something called like a flat or a tech pack.
Okay.
And it's the very precise measurements of the sleeve, how long is the dress, like how long is the zipper, like everything detailed down to a T. And then you can give all of that information to a factory. I am very passionate about United States manufacturing. So our brand is 100% made in the US.
Oh, wow.
So we do all our clothing in New York City and then all our accessories and footwear in LA. That's not the norm for a fashion industry. It's definitely not the norm for the luxury market. So my process definitely looks a little bit different. So usually what happens is once I give them the tech pack, we'll create the first prototype. And we make it out of something called muslin, which is like cheap fabric. So you can tear it up, write on it in Sharpie, do model fittings. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And so we'll start there and make fit adjustments, like so live fit adjustments on a model. And then depending on how that goes, how close the first prototype was, we'll either do another muslin or we'll move into the actual fabrication it's going to be in and start adding some of those details and then do additional fittings with the live model.
Okay.
And it's very important to be consistent. So you have the same model every single time. Measurements are meticulous. And then usually my products go from anywhere on the very, very low end, 3 to 4 fittings.
Okay.
On the high end, usually like 8.
Wow.
And once I feel like it's perfect and it's where I want it to be, you create your final prototype. So this is what the factory looks at is the perfect example. And then they create production. So more SKUs, more numbers from there.
Got it. Okay.
Wow.
And so are you traveling to New York in these circumstances and you're in person doing this? Wow.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
I like to be, my background's in fit. I want to see
Yeah.
it. I want to get my
See it.
hands
That's
on
the
it.
whole point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally. And that's why I love about manufacturing in the US is it's much easier
Yeah.
to get to the factory. And it's very, and what's awesome about it too is you can build relationships. A lot of the factories in New York are family-owned businesses that have been there for generations.
Didn't
Oh,
know
no
that.
And
way.
so
That's
you
really
can
cool.
build relationships with them and they provide insight or things you might not have thought of just because of their million years of expertise, which is
Right.
awesome.
Wow.
And then on the other side of the country, talk to us about LA because I know you've mentioned I don't want to give too much of your fire away, but talk to us about the shoe process, right? Because you talked to me about that a little bit before.
Totally.
So talk to the audience about how that process looks on the LA side.
Yeah. So what I love about the HaleyJ footwear is it's our bestseller.
And it's amazing.
And
And I want all of it.
Thank
Just throwing it out there, you know?
just in case someone wants to get me a gift.
Just in case, you know, there's a guest that's in. Oh, anyways.
Hint, hint. But my background is not in accessories, you know? Accessories
Wow,
is a
okay.
completely different, it was a completely different major in school. It's a completely different career path than fashion. They're very connected, obviously,
Yeah.
but very different. And so when I created the HaleyJ clothing collection, my first thought was, well, what shoes are they going to wear with this?
Yeah, because it's so
Right.
specific.
It's so specific. And I
Yeah.
just felt like it needed to be a super well-rounded brand. And so LA process looks a little bit different where I found a manufacturer who was really willing to teach me and work
Okay.
with me. He is incredible. And he was just really my first production, hold my hand throughout the process
Yeah.
and be like, this is how we do it. This is what needs to happen. You know, this is the quality standard, and he's just as meticulous and detail oriented as I am. And so it was a very easy pairing. And since then, I've obviously learned the footwear industry, and so it's a very similar process now to fashion, but just with shoes. You have shoe fittings, you have sketches, you have tech packs. Very similar process now, but wasn't in the beginning.
And you said they're like, they individually like put the gems on. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm dreaming.
They sit there and individually put all of them on. I've seen it.
So
I've seen it. I've gone a couple times to the factory, and I'm just like, so satisfying, but that takes a long time.
It takes a long time, but I just feel like that's what people are craving nowadays. The individuality is going through the roof, right? Of just having that individualism, which is a wonderful, because we've had guests this season where we've talked about the 90s and the early 2000s. Everyone wanted to be the same. Obviously not any of us, but you know, like everyone went to the mall and they bought the same thing and they wanted to look the same. And I think that the world and the newer generations are demanding individuality, and so like I think that's so cool and unique about how you go about your designs and your process in general. So is this also HaleyJ, this bag right here?
It is. That's
so cool.
We don't sell that. We're thinking about it. I just made this
you guys
for
are
fun.
struggling.
What happened was I was going to a Scottsdale Fashion Week, and I was wearing a HaleyJ dress and shoes. And I was like, I don't have a bag. I made this 3 hours before.
You did what now?
Yeah, I just like had this bag shell, and I was like, we're just gonna like put all these gemstones on. I was like, I just need a bag.
Individually, every single one? Oh my God.
It didn't
3
take
hours
as long
beforehand?
as you didn't think. It didn't take as long as you would think.
Okay.
But,
That's so
I
cool.
get so many compliments on the purse, and I'm like, okay.
It definitely
there
goes
might
with
be
the brand.
something there.
Yeah.
Thinking about a person that really would like the purse. I said, can you get my glasses for me? I don't want to lead, but so we're having so many difficulties today.
It's so funny.
I was very passionate about the bag, and they got thrown off my head.
It's
Right
so
on the lash.
funny.
I was like, ah!
You need that like in a blooper. Like,
No, seriously.
Yeah, that's
That was
going to be in the
crazy.
podcast.
That's never happened, but
I'm
I've
not
also-
cutting that out.
I didn't even notice.
I've never worn glasses out of one of the episodes. That's why it would happen. I was trying to be like really cool and like match your purse.
They look cool.
Thank you. Anyways.
So I wanted to ask you about that whole production process of the clothing, because it seems like a lot, and the way you explained it, like you've probably done it 100 times by now. So just for like someone that's just starting, wants to be a designer, what was the one thing that like scared you the most about it that like you would definitely like give advice for someone just starting to kind of overcome that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm thinking because I'm thinking of 25 different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think when it comes to the production process, finding people in community that you trust.
Yeah.
Whether a lot of the manufacturers, especially in the US, they don't advertise online. They don't have websites. You don't really know where to find them. And so if you all of a sudden wanted to build a brand in the US, it could be difficult to find the right trusted partners because not every
Okay, that makes
factory is
sense.
built the same. And so really my biggest piece of advice would be network. Find people that are doing what you want to do and ask them to help you. I think that's the biggest piece of advice because I think a lot of time production is a very expensive process. It's a very time-consuming process, and it's a lot of trial and error when you're starting. And so if you can get somebody that's done it and can give you some guidance, it will save you a lot of heartache and headache
That
and
makes
money.
a lot of sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Just always being a student, you know, and just
Absolutely.
asking a lot of questions. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. So for you, were you in New York networking and you were finding these individuals, or was it just through, I'm sure, like just your full network was like, I know someone that knows someone that I can introduce you to, or how did that look for you?
So I used to work for luxury fashion houses in London and New York. And so through working, I had connections, people I worked with.
Right.
When I worked in New York, we're always traveling to the factories in New York. And so I kind of just built my network that way. And I think that's a great way to do it. Like if you don't know where to start, finding a job that can give you those resources and open those doors was very helpful.
So was your brand active when you were working for these companies as well, or were you building while you were working for the luxury brands?
It was not active in the sense that it was launched or anybody knew that it was I mean, the people
You were
closest to
building.
me always knew I wanted my own brand, but I
Right.
wasn't necessarily telling people about it or
Sure.
advertising it, but I was always kind of working on it behind the scenes. And I knew it was something that I always wanted to do.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So the coming up with like the name, is that something that took you a while to figure out? Is it just,
Yeah.
I mean, like how did you come up with the name, and was there any kind of meaning from the name to the actual clothing?
It's very simple. A lot of luxury brands, they just name the brand after themselves.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I want a brand named after myself. No, it's true. It's a lot of luxury brands you look at are named after the founder and named after the
Right.
founding family. And so my middle name is Jean. And
Okay.
so HaleyJ just always had a ring to it.
It does, yeah.
And it was kind of just a no-brainer because when I think about my brand also coming up with a name that wasn't my name, I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Because my brand is so me and it's just
Right.
who I am as a person. It just made so much sense.
That makes a lot of
Gotcha.
sense. And like you're like it's so cool because the way you brand, even on like your shoes, it's like it's embedded on the shoes. It just looks so cool. Like I love your
you.
logo and I love the design itself. So talk to us about timelines, right? I mean, like everyone I feel like thinks that when they see a designer and they see someone successful in the fashion industry, they always think it's an overnight success type of situation. Talk to us about timelines on, you know, obviously you're in school, you're working for these luxury brands to launch. Like, how long did it take you to really build in order to get to where you are currently? Just talk to us about the
Great
timelines
question.
a little bit.
That's a really good question. So when I think about HaleyJ, before the brand ever launched, I was working on it for 3 years.
Wow.
And so it's quite a long process. Now, it is a luxury brand and I am meticulous, so you can do that faster.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be absolutely perfect before. So I had years of training. Obviously, I went to 4 years of school. I
Right.
worked in the fashion industry for many years and then was building my own brand for about 3 years before it
Wow.
was ever launched.
Okay.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It takes a lot of time. And I think something that people don't realize too is fashion is a consumer item. And so even if you're successful, you have to keep that success.
Yeah.
And so it's showing up every single day and telling a story and creating a product that people are going to keep coming back to. Just because they came once or bought from you once doesn't mean they're going to continue to do so.
Right.
So it's really just a lifelong process of building yourself up and building your brand up.
Yeah.
Nice.
That makes a
So
lot of
when did you kind of get to a point where like you started needing help with
Mm-hmm.
creating your clothing? Like, was it hard to bring in that second person to, of course, because you have to start paying people and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So how did you start getting help, or was it just like telling the vision and people followed the vision to help you out? So how did you kind of start growing it from there?
So I think I still do my own design work. I do all my own fittings and things like that. What I have outsourced and hired people for is for the things that I am not good at. So we're talking website design, we're talking website maintenance, we're talking advertising, we're talking PR. And so I've really just built a team that are experts in their own field at the things I am not good at. And that's very hard to do, like let up control because you have a vision. And I have gone through different partners. Maybe it wasn't the right fit. It does take time to find the right person, and it is kind of a trial and error process. But you just have to trust your gut. You know when a partnership or an employee is working because they're matching your energy, they're matching your vision.
It's so true.
But
I dealt with that so hard at the beginning of Style by CQ and like going through styling assistants. Like, because for me, I'm so meticulous, and when I would work with assistants that didn't see the little details, it's really hard for me to explain it. And then I found an assistant that just it just worked. And I was like, hey, see how this goes with this, with the shoes? And she's like, oh yeah, and then I could just pair the earrings that go. I'm like, yep. I don't need you can go. I don't need to like sit here and manage you now. Like, you're free. I trust your vision. I don't even need to see the looks because I know they're good. So it's like it's also just relaying that trust to someone. It can be so difficult when your brand is all you and it's representing you, and so that's honestly a really good lesson for anyone that's building a brand is outsource things that you're not good at, but understand that you can make adjustments along the way if things aren't working.
Absolutely.
So talk to us a little bit about motherhood. We're going to transition into that a little bit. So, you are currently a mother, of course, and I know that HaleyJ has children clothing as well, little girl clothing. Talk to us about how that inspired you, and how becoming a mother inspired you. Obviously, you were in creative, a designer prior to becoming a mother. How did the shift happen when you became a mother?
Absolutely. I think for me, when you become a mom, everything changes, right? And I no longer saw my creativity as just creating for myself. I'm now building a brand that's a living legacy for my kids.
Yep.
And especially, like, I have a daughter, she's 3.5, and then I have another daughter on the way. And I think about what I want to teach them. And I think about, I want them to do what they want to do. I want them to follow their dreams, let them know you can be a mom, you can have a business, you can do whatever you want to do. And so I think it's impacted how I run my business even more than my creativity, if that makes sense. My creativity has always been constant, but how I operate has changed. And it's puts more like fire underneath me to go out there and do the things I need to do. And what's so cool is my daughter, she is like the model, the children's wear model for HaleyJ. So she...
So cute.
I know, it's so fun.
Oh,
I'm
my
just like, you're
goodness.
adorable.
Little twin.
Yeah. But I can bring her to work. Like, I involve her in the process because I make the rules. And so I just try to bring her in every aspect that I can.
And I feel, from what you mentioned earlier about your mom and how she inspired you and lit that fire under you when, there was a lot of pressure to conform and to stay in the norm. Do you feel like her influence kind of influenced how you became a mother and how, you present yourself as being a mother?
Absolutely. So I'm actually an only child, and so I'm incredibly close to both of my parents. And how my mom raised me and how my dad raised me is how my husband and I have taken a lot of that into how we raise our girls. And absolutely, because I think, my parents both came from completely different backgrounds than what I'm in. They're both like business-minded people. They knew nothing about fashion, nothing about art. And I just remember so many people talking to them being like, you're letting her pursue design? Like, she's going to school. And they always were like, just so confident in who I was and who they taught me to be, that it wasn't just because they didn't necessarily get it, didn't mean they didn't support it wholeheartedly.
That's so great.
And so I definitely try to carry that over. Like, whatever my girls want to be, whatever they want to do, even if it's not my thing, I'm going to make it my thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, that's the best. Definitely the support of your parents is huge. Just so then that way, like, like you have someone in your corner. Because that's how my parents were when I first started video. So I started in 2015. So in that time, like, making videos wasn't even like a big thing. So they were also like, they didn't understand it, but they still always supported me. And like, if I needed a computer or like any little equipment, they would help me out on that stuff.
Awesome.
So it's always great to have, like, just for your parents to like help out and support, because they really boost their confidence in that too.
Absolutely.
And it's always so crazy because, like, creative and fashion, right? Like, it to some people it just feels very out of reach. Like, it's just a dream, it's not like a real job. And in creatives, it's so interesting when people say that, because people that say that do consume creativity every single day, right? They choose what they are going to put on their body for clothing and outfits. They consume music and art. They watch movies where all these people involved in all of this at one point in their life were told, this is just a dream. You should probably just get something realistic. So I think that's what's so beautiful about creatives is everyone consumes, but not everyone has that belief. And I think it's so incredible that your parents had that belief and you instill that in your girls as well, because it's so important regardless. Like, if your girls want to be an accountant, awesome. Like, she's going to be the best accountant in the world, right?
Totally.
It doesn't have to be fashion, but I think it's very, very important to what kids observe. And even, I talk about this, like, in my book, like, I watched my mom be, like, this amazing businesswoman growing up. And, like, I think that totally influenced me and became who I was, because I just watched her be so great and look so fabulous. And then it just inspired me to want to be the same. So it has huge influence.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I think that's so true. I think it's one of those things is a lot of society or people create expectations or boundaries and they place them on other people.
Yep.
And it's just not how I don't think that's how the world should work. Like, you should do what makes you happy. And especially as a creative, like, there's, like you said, so many creative jobs out there.
Yep.
It's everywhere. Fashion, home, the car you're driving, like a creative design, the interior, like everything, it's around you. And so to say that's not a viable career, I always just like look at people and I'm like, you have no idea.
You haven't looked hard enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always, like, I used to have a very, like, judgmental perspective of people like that. And I started to realize, like, people can only give you advice in their limits and their limitations, right? And so sometimes those people, and sometimes they're the closest people to you, like friends or family, they just are looking out for you in a safety way. Like, you know, this is what I know. This is what I know has worked, and I'm just letting you know, like, I don't believe this is possible because, like, in their head, it hasn't worked for them.
Yes.
And so that's why I think it's so important to create a community where you're around a bunch of people that are creative, that are doing it, because then it's like, oh, no, this is real. Like, this isn't just something, like, I can talk about. This is a real... I'm people in New York. I'm talking to fashion houses. You were already acclimated to that whole environment, working in the field you were with luxury brands. So you knew it was real. You knew you could do it because you were watching it. You were watching it happen.
It's amazing. So when it comes to your creative process, like, how often do you make new designs? Like, do you have like a whole collection set out, or do you start with one piece and that one piece kind of inspires all the rest? How do you do that?
So I think there's a couple parts to this. I think is a business owner in the fashion space, you would expect my day to be filled with a lot of creativity. And sometimes it is, but a lot of the time it's not. I would say 95% of my time is spent on things that are not necessarily creative. So we're talking like administrative tasks, like how's the business running, you know, and that wasn't the case before I had my brand. So my design process before and now looks very different. What I do now with the brand is I have to step away from all of the administrative tasks and the business side and the finances. Like, I have to walk away. I usually take a couple days off. I mean, I'm still working, but I take a couple days off from the email, from the phone, and I just focus on letting my creativity have its moment. And so a lot of the times my design process will be a couple days. And whatever comes out of that could be 3 pieces I feel really confident about for the next collection, or it could be 25 pieces I feel really confident about for the next collection.
Wow.
And so it really just depends. Every single time looks a little bit different. But that's kind of how I run things now.
Okay.
That's so cool, because I just feel like we struggle with that so badly when it comes to balance, right? And I think that's so cool. You give yourself that creative time and that creative outlet to just create, and then you go back and you put on a different hat and you go back to admin or whatever you need to do. Because I think a lot of the time, like, what a lot of designers struggle with, just from my experience, you know, knowing a lot of designers myself, is I just want to create. I don't want to deal with the business. I don't want to deal with social media. I don't want to deal with content. You can outsource, but at first we don't have the means to always outsource unless, you know, people are doing things as trade-offs, or they're doing things for free to gain experience, which is definitely possible. But at the end of the day, it's like, at first you gotta kind of wear like 17 hats, right? I mean, that's probably how you got started, I'm sure, right? Is that you were wearing all of the hats at one point.
Absolutely. And I always tell other creatives this that come to me, and I don't mean this to sound harsh in any way, shape, or form, but it's okay to be a creative and not want your own business.
100%.
And I think it takes a very specific kind of person, personality-wise, mentality-wise, what they like to do, to be able to execute that and be joyful about it.
100%.
You know, like, it takes a very specific kind of person. So I have some of the most talented people I know have no interest in having their own brand or running their own business. And so I think you really have to get serious with yourself and think about the logistics and the 17 hats and the mental load, and really think, does this make sense for me and what I want out of life?
Yeah.
Because it's not always the answer.
Yeah, it's true. And it can sometimes take the passion out of it too, you know, because then it's like, well, I have to do this, and that's why it's very important to take that time to just have the creative time and then the other time, because when you're trying to balance the two, it can get really tough. So that's
sure.
extremely good advice, because I think I've definitely been like, do you want to do this as a business, or do you want to just talk about how awesome you are as a painter? Because I'm that girl that's like, okay, cool. So how much I can talk pricing, I can track money for you.
Right.
And, I'm over here like already setting up a business for them, and like, I just like to paint. Like and I'm just like, oh. Okay, I'm so sorry. Like, we can just talk about painting. And like, so I've really reeled it back over the years of like, and I've always historically done that, where I've made something I really enjoy into a business, or I've worked somewhere I really liked. Like, I worked at BB when I was 18. It was like my dream job, and it became like the most miserable experience. One, because they required 6-inch heels and it was horrible, but two, because it was just like, now I'm like, I enjoyed walking in the store to shop, not be there for 8 hours. So it's just interesting how things can shift.
Absolutely.
Over time.
So for you, when did it start to feel real for you? Like when you started making your brand and had your clothing, at what point did it start to feel like, okay, I can do this as my job and like really pursue this? At what moment did you kind of feel that happened for you?
I don't think it's happened. Just kidding. I think it's one of those things where when you're working at something so long and so hard, I'm always like, what's the next thing I can focus on for HaleyJ? And so it's not very often that I actually step back and like appreciate what I've done or what I've built. And so when I say, I don't think I have yet, I don't actually think I have fully. I just love what
scraping the surface.
Yeah, I love what I do every day, and I just don't think, like, if I really sat down and thought about it, I'd be like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like, awesome.
We don't give ourselves the flowers we need.
Exactly. Like, you don't give yourself those celebration moments, which I'm trying to be better at.
Yeah.
But I just think it's one of those things that I don't think I fully comprehended it fully yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense. So what is like some of the next things you have coming up? Like, do you have another pop-up coming up, or what's the next thing?
So we are doing some brand activations in Miami at the end of the month for Miami Swim Week, which we're super excited about. And then this summer we actually have new product coming out. And it's going to be things that you have not seen before. So really what my goal is with HaleyJ is to create a brand that the HaleyJ woman can come to and she can shop her entire wardrobe, not just her special occasion pieces, right? And so some of the things we have coming out this summer are definitely still very HaleyJ, but they're more wearable. They're more everyday.
Okay.
And then we have some new accessories being introduced that we haven't seen yet, which is fun. We have new footwear coming.
Oh, my paycheck's going to HaleyJ in the summertime. That's all
we got lots of fun stuff happening. So yeah.
Nice.
That's so awesome. Okay, so I want to ask this question because we haven't touched fully on it, but you just mentioned it. Talk to us about who HaleyJ, like the customer is, because I know you've spent a lot of time on who your customer is. Obviously, there's not one size fits all, but who is the woman behind HaleyJ? Like, who would buy HaleyJ, and who do you envision when you think about someone that would buy HaleyJ?
Absolutely. I think when the brand started, when I was starting the concept for the brand, it really started out as myself. I was kind of the avatar.
Right.
And what was happening is I couldn't find on the market what I wanted to wear, except when I went vintage shopping and went back to like the 70s and the 80s and was finding pieces that nobody else had and wearing things that nobody else was wearing.
Yeah.
And so that's how the HaleyJ woman started. Where we're at now is she's a woman that is unapologetically herself. She loves joy. She uses color as a powerful tool of self-expression. She does not care about trends. She is creating her own trends. She is buying a piece that she's going to keep in her closet today, and she's going to wear it 10 years from now, and then she's going to pass it down in her family.
That.
Amazing.
And it's made to last, and she cares about quality. So she'd rather have a couple really quality pieces that she can interchange in style than a bunch of fleeting fast fashion trends. And so she's really just someone who wants to command a room. She wants to be the center of attention, and she wants people to know who she is the second she walks in the door.
Oh, I love that.
That's
so
awesome.
much.
No, that's amazing. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about Swim Week. So like what is the goal for you for going out there? Like, what is the goal? What are you doing? And kind of what is the outcome you're looking for?
Absolutely. So HaleyJ is still a relatively new brand. And so what we're really working on right now is building brand awareness in markets that we have not totally tapped into yet. And so when I think about Miami Swim Week, I mean, Miami is very HaleyJ.
It's so coded.
Yeah.
It's
so
so
HaleyJ.
coded. Oh my gosh, yes.
It is so, colorful and fun
Yes.
and luxury. And so we have really been wanting to tap into the Florida market more. Miami, Palm Beach, kind of the whole coast. And so it's really just an opportunity. There's going to be so many people at Swim Week. It's going to be such a big event. Just really an opportunity to show people who we are and just how it could fit into their lives, if that makes sense.
Oh my gosh. I just there's so many women that are for HaleyJ out there. It's such it gives me island vibes. Even the fringe, we didn't plan this, by the way. There's fringe going,
Right.
but
Fringe.
even the fringe and the beachy, but the luxury beachy, and that's what Miami's all about, right?
Absolutely.
It's having that island feel, but that rich, that elegant feel. And your clothing is so high quality. You guys, if you haven't felt, I know this sounds weird, but you need to feel her clothing. It's so high quality, and that's obviously on purpose. Like you said, you're very meticulous, and that's so cool. Well, I hope we can see you there, because
Yes.
I'm
we're
so
gonna
excited
be
you guys
Yeah,
are
we're gonna
going.
be out there too.
We just figured this out that we're both going less than 2 minutes before
Yeah,
the
just
podcast.
before we hopped on the pod, we were like, "What? You're going there too?"
You're like, I'm going to be out of town end of May. And I was like, oh, me too. What are you doing?
Yeah, we were even talking that it was probably the same thing.
Right.
So funny.
I know, I'm
Oh
so
my
excited.
gosh.
No, we're looking forward to it. What are the 2 events that you're going to be going to? What are they called that you're going to be a part of?
So what we're doing is we're creating 2 brand activations when we're in Miami. So we're doing a private yacht party that has a really curated list.
That's so
where we're
cool.
kind of introducing the brand, sailing
Love
around
that.
Miami.
Oh,
I'm
Amazing.
very excited.
that's so cool.
Right.
And then the second event that we are doing is we are doing a gelato shop takeover. It's going to
So
be more
cute.
daytime, showcasing the brand, everyone hanging out. And then we have hopefully a couple other things in the works. This actually just all came together last week. We just decided.
Dang.
Yeah.
I love
We're
those
a
two,
month
though.
out.
That's
So-
fine. That's how things happen, though.
Totally. So we're probably hoping to do a couple pop-up shops, things like that,
amazing.
but we're still in the planning process.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
so
Be
excited.
on the lookout for HaleyJ at
Yes.
Swim Week.
Yes.
Go to those events. So we got a couple that we're planning to go to too. So we're
Yes,
definitely going to
that's
have to
awesome.
connect and make content. For
We
sure.
absolutely should.
100%.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully you're bringing a crew with you, right? To document. You
Yes.
need a crew. Or we might be available.
Yeah, right?
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, my glasses just came off.
And
I
the
got
second
it.
The passion
Yeah,
is
fall this
crazy.
fall.
The passion is crazy. But okay, well that's amazing. So one of the last questions I have for you is, where do you see HaleyJ in 5 years? I mean, it's such a generic business question, but really, I mean, you have a second daughter on the way, right? Your daughters will be older, and the brand will be more evolved. What is your goal, right? Where do you see the brand evolving to? And anything else that you envision or want to share with us?
Yeah, so I touched on this a little bit earlier, where I want it to be a one-stop shop for the HaleyJ woman. And so in 5 years, our product assortment will be expanded even more, is the goal. We are also in the process of introducing new colors and new colorways,
exciting.
starting a new color
Nice.
story. And so in 5 years, I hope HaleyJ is a rainbow, right?
Oh, that's
I
so
don't want
cool.
it to be just pink and orange. I want to introduce blue and greens and reds and purples, and it's kind of going to just be the website and the store, and HaleyJ is just going to be a full color story from start to finish.
That's
so
so
that's
cool.
amazing.
that's really my hope for the next 5 years.
I love that so much.
No, that's amazing. So what about runways and stuff? Do you ever see yourself going on a runway or checking your clothes out in any other kind of events or stuff like that you would
Yeah.
typically do or would want to do with your clothing?
I definitely could see runways in the future. That would definitely be a goal. Because HaleyJ is so meticulous and we're still on the earlier side of our business, we don't necessarily have enough for a full runway show at the moment. But definitely that would definitely be a 5 year,
Yeah,
2,
right.
3, 4, 5 year goal for sure.
I just feel
Nice.
like HaleyJ can expand in so many different ways. Like even like I'm just saying random stuff, but like even with like swimwear, like putting the gems on the, I'm just
Right?
like, okay, well,
swimsuit.
my whole class is gonna be HaleyJ. I'm clocking it right now in 2 years. But yeah, no, I mean, I just feel like the opportunities are endless with HaleyJ, and the vision that you have is so exciting, and the color wheels are so exciting because that will also bring different types of HaleyJ women. You know, like I was mentioning to you, I have a friend who has blue hair, and her whole thing is she loves blue, and it's like that's a different type of girl than a pink girl, right?
Absolutely.
But like they all have that similarity of what you mentioned, which is they command a room, and they love like to dress amazing and bright, and
absolutely.
So that is so exciting. I'm so
Thank you.
excited for you.
I appreciate
Yes.
it. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
goodness.
much.
Actually, the thing I do want to ask, because you said you're new to Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
When you moved in, how did you start finding your way in the fashion scene? Like, do you know a
Yeah.
lot of people in the fashion community now? And kind of how did you start making your way?
That's a great question. I like to Instagram DM people.
Hey, there you go.
I love
Just spamming
that.
everybody.
Just
Yeah.
go for it.
It's, you know, I just did research. I started, okay, there's Scottsdale Fashion Week, there's Phoenix Fashion Week, there's a lot of PR firms here, there's a lot of models, and I just started following people, messaging people. And I think what's interesting is a lot of people are scared of putting themselves out there, but most people are looking for connection, and most people want that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the DMs I sent went, nope, like people would read it and not respond, but most of them people responded to and were super responsive. And you know, they would have an event and they would be like, hey, I thought of you, like I know you're in fashion. And that's kind of just how I started building my community here, was just being like, hey, I'm new. Or if it was someone that I felt like really aligned with, like want to grab coffee. And so that's really just how I ended up building community here.
And I met Haley at a Modern Day Wife event. She had a pop-up activation, and that's a whole different community. Like that's it's, you know, it's fashion, it's not fashion focused, it's women in business focused. But HaleyJ, that as a customer, as a woman, like they're everywhere in that environment, right?
Absolutely.
So I just feel like as a designer watching this, like your target customer may not always be at a fashion show. It definitely can be at a business event or a networking event of some kind that ideal target customer lives and breathes and is a part of. Absolutely. And I remember when I met you, I was, first and foremost, I was just like, I'm obsessed with your brand.
It's like, I gotta be friends. You saw the outfit and you were like, I gotta.
I literally almost
I
almost passed out. And like the problem was the first time I met you, I wasn't wearing pink. I remember it so vividly because the second time I met you, I was on purpose. Yes. But the first time I met her, I wasn't wearing pink. And I was like, you know, like when you have an identity crisis and you're like, I promise, I love pink. And she's like, okay.
She did say that to me. She was like, I really love pink. I'm like, I believe you.
She was like, chill out, psycho. But I was just like, I love pink. And like, your brand speaks to me. And like, it was just so crazy. I wasn't wearing, I just felt like a fraud. And then the second time I saw you, I was like, hey. And you're like, okay. I was like, I'm pink. And then I went to your activation and I wanted to match. And it was just so cool. And you know, it's just, I don't know, you create an experience. And I think that that's so important as a designer, as a businesswoman, you know, creating an experience is what it's all about. Yeah. And your clothes are also an experience. So I just feel like everything together just makes it so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Of course.
And I will say too, like your reaction the first time I met you, you probably felt like like what you said. But for me, that's what I live for. Like when someone comes up to me and they're like, I get it. I love it. This is so me. Like that just, it's, my brand's not for everybody. And so when I find those people, I love hearing that. Like that was so cool. And I was like, oh, we're gonna like each other.
And okay, like, I need to like set the scene of what, like where I was. Like I was backstage at the Modern Day Wife runway show. Like I was styling a different brand. And I walked up to her and I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but these pants, and like I think I'm gonna lose it. And she's like, I'm like, your brand, it's everything. And so it was just so cool. And so no, I agree. I think that that's also, there's a lesson in that, right? I think that when you create a brand, your brand isn't for everyone, and that's why I think it's very important to find out who your person is, who your target customer is. Because if you say your brand's for everyone, I mean, I just don't think that's necessarily true. And in your case, it's a very unique, you know, brand that speaks to very specific types of people. And I think that's okay. And I think it's really cool how throughout this episode you also mentioned, like, even if your brand isn't the brand for someone, it's still bringing joy to a person that's around that person that's wearing your brand. And that's such a cool intention.
Absolutely.
Because I think people that are the HaleyJ customer, you know, me, that are the HaleyJ customer, like, we don't really realize that we bring joy sometimes when we wear certain things. Like, we wear them because we have fun and we enjoy it. But I think it's really cool to hear that perspective of, like, no, like, you are bringing joy even if you don't realize it because of what you're putting on. And wearing HaleyJ is definitely a part of that.
I think something, too, that I love, too, is, like, you're also inspiring other people. Like, someone might not have the confidence to do what you're doing.
Yes.
But then they see you doing it, and then maybe they get to know you, and then they realize they can be comfortable with who they are.
Yes.
And I think when you dress differently than everybody else, it takes a certain kind of mindset.
It's true.
Right? And so sometimes you're bringing joy, but you're also inspiring people just to show up as unapologetically who they are.
That's so true.
That's amazing. And I think that's the perfect way to end it off here. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you guys.
Oh,
this is so fun.
No,
So
this is
good.
so great. Yeah, we enjoyed hearing your story, and I can't wait to see everything that you do here in Arizona. You're only 1 year in, and I just can't wait to see what else you do
Thank
during
you
your
so
time
much.
here.
And in
So.
Miami, you know?
Oh,
Yes, yes, I'm looking forward to that. So, but thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
so
guys.
much.
Appreciate it.